Welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Saturday, December 14th, 2024. I'm J.E. Skeets, here from the 27th floor of an undisclosed hotel room in Las Vegas. And alongside me, as always, Tassville S.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Everybody
Absolutely.
get comfy in these seats. And next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Ayo.
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 And of course, floating behind the camera, making this magic happen, JD.
Wow.
Oh yeah, get a shot of yourself.
Hello.
Hey, there he is.
Great floating.
We are here in Vegas. Early flight this morning from Atlanta. Got here in time for the two games, the semifinals of the NBA Cup. One very entertaining, one a little more boring.
Yeah, I can't decide. Is it just because we took in two sports games that we found the second one boring?
No, I think Rockets Thunder was a slog.
Yes, it
no
was.
matter if you were live or it was your second
It was
game
a tough
or
one.
whatever,
It
because
was
that
tough.
was a rough game.
Yeah, it was. It
So
was.
let's
It was.
start. Let's start with the entertaining one.
The better one.
Let's start with
Good one to
Giannis
start with.
scoring 32 points, an assist away from a triple-double. Damian Lillard added 25. Bucks beat the Hawks. Sad caca. A lot of Hawks fans in the house.
More Hawks fans than Bucks fans, I would
Yeah,
have said. Yep.
yeah. Maybe a part of that was the Falcons playing here on Monday night against the Raiders. But Bucks win 110-102 to earn a spot in the NBA Cup championship game. It was the entertaining game of the two.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because we had better seats. Small part of it.
That was cool.
The game was better.
Yes, the game was
The
better.
game was better.
That was
it
the
was
biggest part.
close, and teams were making shots,
Yeah.
and we didn't have a million reviews.
Yeah.
It was a fun game. It was
Yeah.
awesome. We had the superstars showed up. Giannis had an awesome
Absolutely.
game. Trae Young had an awesome game. Damian Lillard had a pretty good game. If Jalen Johnson plays a little bit better, maybe we're talking about the Hawks in the Cup final. But Giannis was the man out there. Almost a triple-double, like you said, and it felt like he just got to the free throw line. Anytime the Bucks were struggling to score, he would get the ball at about the three-point line on a fast break. He would see Capella. He would hit him with a little bit of a hezzy, and then he would go right, lower his shoulder, get the foul, go to the line. Hawks fans counting him down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They were getting to 14, counting too fast. But it felt like we were back in Atlanta. Nice win for the Bucks.
Yeah, well, this is the funny part to me. It was the more entertaining game, but we had Trae Young 14 of 17 at the free throw line. Giannis, like you said, 12 of 18 at the free throw line. So it was a parade to the line for the superstars.
Yeah.
But there was more juice to this game. It was obviously closer down the stretch as well because we had the highlight of the day was Giannis blocking the Capella alley-oop when it was like a 5-point game with like 2.5 to go.
Yeah, and I don't think that has anything to do with us being a mere feet away from it.
Yeah.
We were second row behind the hoop to watch a Giannis Antetokounmpo come and recover and block an alley-oop. That was awesome. And I think just the fourth quarter of Giannis, he got on the floor, he dove on the floor, and then on an offensive possession where Middleton knocked the ball off himself, Giannis got mad. He said, Middleton, what's up?
Yeah, Middleton was struggling
Yeah.
down the
It was
stretch.
weird. It was weird mode.
Yeah, and I loved it. It was them being open about things. This is what we got to do, dude. And then the next possession, he comes back down the floor and he has to recover and block it like it's the Phoenix Suns finals game where he came out of nowhere. And at first we thought maybe Giannis and Brooke blocked
Sort of
that.
double blocked it. Yeah.
But it was all Giannis to
Yeah.
be able to get back and recover. We wanted to win this freaking game.
wanted to win this
obviously.
game, yeah.
He wanted an NBA Cup win, and last year he was here. It didn't happen.
Right.
And this year, the 30-year-old Giannis just had his birthday. Man, that was impressive.
No one has talked about Giannis' birthday
update.
more than Tess.
Real classic birthday update. I was glad to see he could still drag his body off the ground at the old age of 30.
Yeah, that old guy. We're gonna see him in the old age area of the blackjack tables and the casinos. I
See out Fremont Street.
think. Yeah, the very old area, the Fremont Street area. It was weird for him because last year he was here for his birthday. And he got to celebrate. This year he got pushed. I know, no one wants to talk about his birthday.
No one has ever talked about his birthday more than you.
The dates changed from the in-season tournament to the NBA Cup from year 1 to year 2, so he turned 29 here, but he was already turned 30 anyway. It doesn't matter. But he was awesome. Actually, I think the biggest fan out here was Thanasis Antetokounmpo. He was in the front row.
Yes.
That guy got on the floor, and it was at some point he started yelling, and I think Trey said, "What's up, dude?" Yeah, they exchanged
What are you
something
doing?
because Thanasis was in there. But anyways, those
you
two
think
guys really wanted to win.
Do you think
obviously.
Thanasis pays for that ticket?
No
or is that
way.
a Giannis comp or a Bucks comp? Like, I wonder how that works. Great seats. Better than ours.
Yeah, we got comped. You don't think Thanasis has a
Yeah,
comp?
good point. That's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Anyways, but it was great because for the first time, both of those guys in an NBA Cup game, like Trey and Giannis, like were desperate to win this game.
Yeah,
both
yeah.
of those
Definitely.
guys.
Well, that's a big, picture question. Like, does the cup work? Like, did the teams respect the cup? Which has been our ongoing bit here for a couple of days now, the idea of respecting the cup. Do you believe all four did, Trey, today, from, like, effort-wise?
Effort-wise, yes.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Execution-wise, the Rockets did not respect the
Well,
cup.
okay.
To bring in that kind of shooting to Las Vegas,
Sure.
disrespectful.
Sure.
disrespectful to
disrespectful.
Lethal Shooter. They're going to be sharing the same court as Lethal Shooter. Maybe he can tutor the Rockets on how to actually make a shot. That was disgusting, Skeets. I hate that we have to
bad.
record a podcast after watching that.
Yeah, you were getting upset.
Well, the game was over. It was 10:52. The Rockets went up by 11. The Thunder went up by 11. I said, this game's over. You said, no, watch, they'll make a little run.
Well, they did.
Yeah, they got it down to 5, and then Shea checked in, and they lost by
Yes.
what, 16?
Yes.
It was over when I told you. I had my white belt on, Dave Grisham mode. The Rockets couldn't score. That was what was exciting about the first game. Neither team could score for a while in Bucks-Hawks, but then they both kind of turned it on. The Hawks actually had a lead coming into the fourth quarter. Unfortunately for them, they finally went cold in like the last 2 minutes. I think they scored 2 points on Trae Young driving to the hoop, and they kind of just like were playing the take away the three-pointer. He got a layup. But Trae had a nice look from deep. Shots he makes, but also shots that are definitely risky. Jalen Johnson had a wide open look from the corner that didn't go down.
Yep.
The Bucks just executed down the stretch a little bit better, and they were the best executing team we saw today.
Again,
Yeah.
it is funny. The Bucks score was 110-102, and then this second game that we just got back from was OKC 111-96.
Yeah.
So it is pretty similar in terms of offensive output, but they felt like two completely different games.
Yeah, and to see Shea get to 30 points didn't feel like he had a good game at
Oh, he had a horrible game.
It was not Shea.
Well, he had the crowd like oohing and awing through the first like 5 or 6 minutes of the
Yeah.
game on every play he did because he was like, pivoting left and right, dropping guys sort of here, but he just couldn't finish.
No.
And you could see him getting visibly frustrated.
He was so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he still gets to 30, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was shaking guys, and the crowd was loving it. They were enjoying it. They
Yeah.
were saying, "Is this Penn and Teller? What is this show going on in front of me?" It looked like there were people falling in front of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as he did his moves, and then he just didn't have the touch.
Didn't have the
Yeah.
touch
It was
today.
so
Yep.
strange. But no one had the touch for so long in that
Sightlines.
game. Yeah.
Neutral court.
Neutral court.
It
yeah.
happens every Final Four. The teams get there, nobody can shoot, and everybody blames it on a neutral court.
Well, that one almost makes more sense because they usually are playing in like giant
Football
stadiums.
I
And it
agree,
is
yeah.
a little different. This is, of course, like
small
a
stadium.
normal, small
Yeah.
stadium.
Yeah.
But you bring up a good question. It's like, why is this in Vegas? Like, in all honesty, why is it here?
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to come to Vegas. Like, think about, it's exciting for the guys that are playing, but we're watching the game and we're looking at the staffs that travel with the team. There's another 75 people that come with every NBA team.
Yeah.
It's awesome for them to get to spend 5 days in
Yes,
Vegas.
yes.
Yeah.
I guess, like, but from, I don't know how it looked on television, but, like, production standpoint, there's almost no way you could have told us, being in the arena for both these games, that we were in Vegas. Like, they don't lean into the,
I agree.
to
Yeah.
the Vegas vibe.
They probably
Yeah.
don't want to go heavy on the gambling
Yeah.
aspect of things, even though if it were daily fantasy, we would be seeing ads for it every 5
Yeah.
seconds. But they could have done more showgirls sort of entertainment stuff, or weird magic shows, or Elvis impersonators. Literally anything.
Yeah.
They do the walk-in, the red carpet. I suppose that's a little bit Vegas.
More
It's a little
Hollywood,
different.
yeah.
It's ritzy,
Yeah.
at least. They try and give you a gold cord. It looks khaki.
Yes.
You know, I think they could go over the top, but if that's the case, people be like, "Why does this court look so weird?"
And then they did one, like, sort of in-arena entertainment
Yeah.
game called Stack the Chips,
Yeah.
which was a shooting game.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was the only, like, gambling
yeah, and
angle.
people at home don't see that.
No,
so.
no, yeah, that's a good
it
point.
didn't scream Vegas to me. Like
No.
this could have
No.
been, it wouldn't have been any different if they were playing this game in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Right.
But it fills out a stadium of fans that are excited just to go watch basketball. I mean, we saw fans from
Yes.
all sort of different fan bases that were in an arena, and they're pumped. I mean, it worked in comparison to last year when the semifinals were on a Thursday. Or was it a Tuesday?
I would have to know when Giannis's birthday is.
It was December
Perfectly
7th.
It was definitely midweek.
2023.
It was midweek.
Yeah, compared to the Saturday that they had it on here,
This was smarter.
it was filled. It was
Yeah.
people were excited. Just like I said, Penn and Teller earlier. It was an event in Las Vegas that people got here and were excited for. More so the first game versus the second game.
Are people showing up in Vegas still pumped to go to Penn and Teller?
I don't know.
I mean, I was.
How many shows at a Magic show? They don't know.
I was like blown away by how into the crowd was that first game.
Yeah.
I was like, it was starting at 1:30 local time.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how many Hawks fans were there and how vocal the crowd was. And it was like that good, like sort of like, there's a contingent of Bucks fans as well. You're in the arena where it's like, you're like both teams score and there's like that sort of uproar. So that was cool. I thought the Thunder Rockets one was a little less flat. Maybe that had to do with the game, but I feel like the fan bases were
Flat.
out.
Flat's a good word because the shots were flat.
Yes.
That was a problem.
Yeah.
When
I thought it was hard to tell who there was more fans of until at the end when, who was it? There were beefing Şengün and
Case and
Wallace.
Yeah.
There was a big OKC chant.
Yeah.
So I was like, that
Yeah.
must mean there's more OKC people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we barely heard them for the first 46 minutes because their shots weren't right. They weren't right. Yeah.
Do you have any more thoughts on Bucks Hawks before we maybe get a
of
little
course.
bit more into
Well,
Thunder?
the Bucks and Hawks played 10 days ago, and I watched those as opposed to being in a stadium here. I watched it from my seat in my house, and you could tell the Hawks were a faster, more athletic team. I mean, the numbers changed drastically in terms of the offensive boards. In that game, they had 16 offensive boards down to 7 in this one. They had 30 fast break points in that one. They had down to 15 in this one. I mean, they were after it in that game, and the Bucks got back in this one. They tried. It was fun to watch, actually, from our angle, being 2 rows behind. You saw, even after a make, the Hawks pushed it. We had a DeAndre Hunter 3 after a make. It was fun. They were pushing it, but the Bucks were actually getting back. They're ready. They're ready to win this friggin' thing. They were far more into it. The Bucks didn't look like an old-ass team today.
Only Doc looked old when he was hunched
did,
over on the
yeah.
sidelines,
Yes.
grabbing his knees, as he always does, as the game goes on. He's got bad knees.
Got bad knees, got bad hips and a bad back, so he stands.
Exactly.
He's got an interesting stand. Hawks Bucks was awesome. That was
Yeah.
a fun game. That's what people want to see when they come to the Cup. Both teams respecting it, playing hard. Both teams were giving a defensive effort
Yeah.
and playing well offensively too. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, and I didn't know if I liked it at the time, but players were getting away with fouls. And it was fine with me then. Even though you said that Giannis had how many free throws
a
he
lot,
had,
18
and
free throw
Trey,
attempts.
they were getting
17.
away with stuff.
Yeah.
They were getting, it was a physical game.
It was physical for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it was fun at the same time.
It was hilarious being so close to the Bucks bench too, and watching the guys that didn't play a single minute. I'm talking guys like Marjon Beauchamp, Chris Livingston, Tyler Smith, Pat Connaughton, who is very vocal, by the way, and up all the time. They're so pumped watching this game because it's like, hey, if we win this, I'm getting, what do they got? Another $150,000 or something like that? Just by winning that game and advancing to the finals?
Yep.
They were into it.
AJ
man.
Johnson loved that game.
Yes. So it's
great
like there
game.
is that weird little element of guys not even playing, really invested, let alone people 3 rows back Dame, I need 2 more points for the over, and all the gambling literally going on here in Vegas. Come on, help me out. I'm like, okay, I'll try and get you that. So, super entertaining.
Just last thing.
Okay, on that game.
Very last thing. I think we saw a no-pass alley-oop from the Hawks, which is awesome. That looks like a Vegas show. I mean, the ball went through. Or it was a rebound, but they had 3-pass alley-oop. I don't think they dribbled once. It was beautiful.
I'm trying to remember what play you're talking about.
I'm talking about a Capella rebound, out to Dyson Daniels, out to Trey, out to, I think it was
No
Jalen
dribble,
Johnson.
you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the word I
I
used?
thought you said no pass.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you
that's
do
a
a
weird
no
word.
pass alley-oop?
That's
That's
an
good.
amazing
That's good.
thing. There was lots of passes, but 0 dribbles.
think
That was
Penn and Teller could do
phenomenal.
it?
But I don't think we've ever seen Trae Young play D as hard he did that one possession. Chris Middleton was bodying him at the three-point line. Trey was getting physical. They brought a double, and they passed out weak side three-point shot, and Trey had to get out to Dairy Milk, to AJ Green, and AJ Green, he shot that three-point shot, and Trey Young got a piece of it. I mean, you don't see that. And it was great to see AJ Green. Dairy
now
Bird.
known as Dairy Milk, not Dairy Bird.
Dairy Bird was, because we were really close to the Bucks bench. He looks extremely fit.
That guy's jacked.
Yeah, you didn't.
Milk does a body good,
exactly.
man. Holy crap.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly the note I made.
I do like our friend John. We were telling him, like, why is he called Dairy Bird? While we're going through it. And then he was like, then he hit a three. He's like, got milk. Got milk.
Yeah.
You should yell that at people when he hits a three.
You were saying he should do a celebration where he turns his thumbs under like this and somebody milks his udders.
What a weird
Yeah, that would be weird.
That would be a weird
like
celebration.
this part. Why couldn't he just do this? Why couldn't he just
I think
do
it's
the?
funnier if he goes like this, and then like Chris Middleton's like doing the
Yeah.
others.
So basically, you're saying that, like, for our podcast listeners, he would be the cow. He would be the
I'm
udder.
the cow, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the milkman.
AJ
Like,
Green's the providing the milk,
Yeah.
and somebody else is milking him.
Yeah.
Milking his thumbs.
I think that's an incredible celebration. Okay.
He should do it once at least.
That's amazing. Okay, let's go to the second game. Obviously, we
glad we got
crapped on
back
it
to
a
that.
little bit. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 20 of his 32 points in the second half. OKC, they pulled away late to beat the Rockets 111-96, so they will go on to face the Bucks on Tuesday night in the NBA Cup championship game. Yeah, it was a really rough start, Trey. Nobody could score for a big stretch of this game. And so that was sort of the first half, and then the second half, there was there was a couple minutes where like some shots started to fall, but then of course it turned into the timeout,
Yes.
review, timeout, review game, which it needs to be fixed.
No flow to this game at all. The first half had no flow just because nobody could score.
Yeah.
It was 42-41 at halftime, and both teams were shooting like 35% and under. Not a surprise. They're both great defensive teams. Look, the Rockets have trouble scoring, period.
Yeah.
You know, they're not a great offensive team. The Thunder are the best defensive team in the league, and they were making it really tough. Hartenstein was eating Şengün up.
Yeah.
That was
Şengün was completely out of sorts, didn't really get his touches where he usually does. I thought Hartenstein really dominated the paint for the Thunder in the third quarter. Both teams actually scored a little bit. They were actually able to get a little bit of rhythm, and then, like you said, in the fourth quarter, OKC got up a little bit, and then it was just like couldn't keep going. Like it was every 30 seconds the clock was stopping. It felt like it was insanity.
Yeah, to see Şengün really.
I thought you were going to fall asleep like Jimmy Goldstein for a second.
Well,
Jimmy Goldstein falling asleep during the broadcast of
he
this
didn't
game.
fall asleep.
He was, Tass, he was like,
Yeah. Well,
He was slumped.
well,
He was slumping at least.
Yeah. Well, you were just misreading the situation.
well, I mean, he's got a hat on. Maybe it's so heavy on his head. It's like,
He did at one point grab the ball when it bounced over to the side. He did like a shot pass to get it back in.
okay,
That was
well,
exciting.
well, this will blow your mind. Jimmy Goldstein, 84 years old. Oscar Robertson, 85 years old.
86.
86 years old. He looks
He looks great.
20 years younger than Jimmy Goldstein.
Yeah, it was.
This is a Jack Armstrong, Leo Roughton situation here.
Very Jack and Leo. Yeah.
Where it's like, what? Who's the old guy?
That was. I don't know what the more surprising thing was to see legends of the game surviving both games, hanging out there and watching
Joakim
both
Noah, Gary Payton,
was
Rip
cool.
Hamilton.
games. Rip, Oscar Robertson.
Oh yeah, big O.
But yeah, there's got to be others.
I can't
And
believe
old ones.
he's 86 though. He looks great.
Well, yeah, it looks incredible. Yeah, and that's why you do it in Vegas, I guess, because gentlemen like Oscar Robertson, who's 85, 86, can be up until 7 p.m. These games ended. What time is it now? These games ended half an hour ago, 8:30 p.m. local. I think these games are designed for
That's
the older
early
gentlemen. Yeah, that's why they're here.
These games are designed for Jimmy Goldstein. Eh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Was it fun to watch two games in one day?
Absolutely. I would have loved to see Reed Shepherd play a game. You know, Reed Shepherd hasn't played the last 2 games for the Houston Rockets. His first 2 missed games. I'm disappointed. I came to Vegas to see Reed Shepherd.
Wow. You did call that in the preseason. Gotta give you credit for
he
that. There was a lot of talk about him for Rookie of the Year, and you're like, I don't think he's going to play enough.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect him to play 0
Yeah,
minutes
well,
like he played these last. Yeah, that was the weird thing. What Ime Udoka with the rotation, he played Steven Adams in that first half,
A lot.
and Jalen Green and Albert Şengün just weren't used a lot. The rotation just wasn't. He wasn't looking to score. He thought this was a brawl.
He definitely favors defense, which is why
Yeah.
Reed Shepherd doesn't get a ton of minutes, but this is the kind of game that maybe it would be okay to dust him off just because he's a decent shooter. The Rockets ended up shooting 24% from 3, and they weren't much better inside. They finished 35% for the game. 19 offensive rebounds, but somehow that only turned into like 18 points for them on a second chance points. So even when they're getting their own rebounds, they're not able to reconvert offensively, just because they looked quite a bit smaller, I thought, than OKC as well. And meanwhile, you got Shea, who didn't have his greatest game and still somehow ticks his way over 30 points, getting enough free throws, getting to the hoop enough, hitting threes here and there.
Yep.
Like, even when they have bad offensive nights, they can still be efficient enough to pull off a win because they've got more talent, certainly, than the Rockets do. Like, Jalen Williams would be the best scorer on the Rockets instantly, and he's the number 2 guy on OKC.
Yeah, and that's a good point about Shea not really having a good game, still gets to 32, 8, 6, 5 steals. And even Jalen Williams, who again had a little stretch where he caught fire. I wouldn't say a great game, shot 8 of 20, but still he gets to 20 points, still gets 5 boards, still gets 5 assists, they still contribute, and they still, we're walking with a bit of an attitude at the end when Wallace got into it with Şengün and some barking going on, and they were fighting hard for this. And I feel like I like this the only thing I liked about this matchup, not the game, but you could see the Rockets looking at the Thunder going, oh yeah, we're that maybe in a year or two. Now they don't have a Shea.
Well, that's the thing.
They don't have a Jalen even.
A game like this makes it clear to me how far behind Houston is. Because neither team played well, but OKC still dominated this game.
Yeah.
And they weren't even in any danger in the second half at all.
Who was the best player for the Rockets tonight?
Exactly.
Amen Thompson, probably.
Oh, 100%.
He had, 13 in the first half, maybe 6 in the second half?
Yeah, he finished with 19.
Yeah.
19-7, 3 steals.
Yeah, and that's why I thought Udoka just should play through both Jalen Green and Şengün more. And they literally sat at times. And they decided to go to the Steven Adams, hey, we're going to score in the paint, I guess. I mean, OKC is the best defensive points in the paint team in the league. They're good at it. They're extremely good at pushing up and getting players out of the paint and defending in the paint. But at the same time, I thought Udoka should have just gone through. Jalen Green is a freaking athletic beast. He should have been able to get in the lane more. And Şengün, same thing. I mean, play through Hartenstein.
They got
they got dominated. They got pushed out of the paint, and weren't able to get into it. So that was the disappointing thing. Yeah.
Do you have a fix for the end of the game situation where we get a million timeouts and a million reviews? Like, and this is sort of like, I feel like in the discourse right now, like the entertainment value of a game where people are like, this is not great entertaining basketball. Does anything come to mind besides?
What's the FIBA rule? You can't call a timeout after. You can't call a timeout after a made basket, right? Like there has to be a stoppage.
I think that's correct.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, it's that. It's either reduced timeouts, and I know this has been talked about before, but convince me this isn't a much more entertaining idea than a review. Literally, do possession arrow, but make it way more fun. Have the guy shoot for it, like they literally do in pickup. Like, so there's you challenge. It's the possession arrow to whoever the team, and the guy, instead of taking a 3-pointer, because they're too damn good, whatever, make it a bomb, make it 30 feet. It would be so much more entertaining. And then maybe there's like a weird strategy of like, oh damn, we better have our bomber out there. Like, say it could be anybody on the floor. Like, well, Peyton Pritchard's got to be out there in a clutch situation. Anything. Then go to like watching refs watch a review. It's stupid.
I will say we were having a great time with James Capers doing the reviews tonight. He got quite a few chances at it, and every time except for the last time, as soon as he would start talking, somebody would sub in and the buzzer would go off and he'd have to wait Challenge confirmed.
Yeah.
That was
That was a good bit.
Yeah,
A good buzzer
James
bit.
Capers can't talk.
But otherwise, oh my God.
Yeah, no reviews would be good.
Yes. Yes.
Going international is a great call because we just saw teams get a bucket scored on them and be able to just call timeout.
Yeah.
It happened over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how many timeouts were called in the fourth quarter, but there was a lot. So if you just had to play basketball and then have to call timeout when an actual stoppage happened,
That's better.
it seems like a game of basketball more so than what we were watching. There was just way too many timeouts, and I don't know if it had anything to do with they had to meet a certain quota of TV timeouts.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know.
Come on.
But it just didn't seem logical. What we
If
were
that
watching.
is the case, then they're literally ruining the game by doing that. They're making it less entertaining, which should be at its core the most important thing.
Yeah, no,
To grow the game, grow the popularity, get
I
people
see
into
meet
it.
the TV timeouts. It definitely seemed like the teams were just calling timeouts.
Yeah, well,
I
but
mean-
we watch a million games. This is what happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. This seemed worse.
No, it happens so often.
This
Well,
was
it's
more
crazy
painful.
though because when you compare the two games we watched, like Hawks-Bucks was close in the fourth quarter. It wasn't stopping like this one was. Mm-hmm. The Rockets-Thunder game. Mm-hmm. That one stopped way more often, even though it was never even like a two-possession game.
Yeah.
It was never, the score never changed sides, no lead changes, no ties.
Yeah, it felt like Udoka, especially Udoka, was going after something. I mean, he was
Point
just,
differential.
yeah. Was point
Nobody
differential
told them
a
the point
factor?
differential doesn't
Doesn't count
matter
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Bucks Thunder Tuesday night. We're gonna be there. We respect the cup, and I want to know who's gonna win, and by how many even. If you want to give me a line for Tuesday night, Bucks will be the home team, whatever that
Okay,
means.
okay.
Yeah,
Whatever that
home
means, they get to
Las
pick
Vegas.
their jersey, I guess. I don't know. Who are you going?
I'm taking the Bucks.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going against OKC, the more dominant team in the NBA this year. I just feel like they are ready. They are here to win the cup. And OKC didn't perform well here in Vegas. Whether it's the sight lines in the arena, that was a problem, I guess.
Maybe.
I thought they would turn it when they turned around at halftime, and they were going at the end that didn't have the background of bright lights and the restaurant slash
Michelob
The
Bar.
Michelob Ultra courtside,
Yeah, the bar. I
which
thought,
isn't courtside.
No, it's not. It's definitely not.
50 feet away.
yeah. But the Hawks were shooting on that end in the first game, and then they turned it around and were better in the second
were.
half. So I thought that may happen with OKC. It didn't
Which
really
I guess
happen.
it did. They
Sort
did
of.
score more, but
Sort of.
okay, so you're going
I'm
Bucks.
taking the Bucks. Yeah, I
You're
feel
going
like
Bucks.
they're here.
What do you
I
think
think
the
they
line-
could have played better actually tonight. Like Dame could have played better.
I think both teams are saying that after tonight.
What do you mean?
Milwaukee and OKC are like, wow, we won, but we can play way better.
Yeah, but they literally can play better. I think Chris Middleton was not right. He's still getting back to who he is, but he was like, he literally lost the ball a couple times in the fourth quarter where they're trying to go through him. They're trying to figure out the
He was
chemistry
afraid
between
to
him.
throw it in bounds,
Yeah.
and they're like, what are you doing,
He had a
man?
brutal turnover
Yeah.
in the fourth
Multiple
quarter.
ones.
Yeah, he was good in the first half, I thought, but
Yeah.
he's rounding into form, which is
He
why he's
is
still coming off the
he
bench.
is. He is.
Okay,
yeah.
he's going
They're
Milwaukee.
figuring it out.
Are you
yeah.
going, the young upstart Oklahoma City Thunder? Or are you going with these vets?
Look,
in
I do
Milwaukee?
love that Torian Prince is now 13-0 in Cup play. Mr. Cup, making it happen.
And Darvin. And Darvin Ham.
And Darvin, of course. But I think OKC is going to win based on what I saw tonight because I thought the Bucks struggled. They could have got better shots against the Hawks. And the Hawks are an okay defense. The Thunder are an awesome defense. So I kind of think that OKC will shut them down.
Okay,
Could happen, yeah.
got to agree with him. I think this is was a very bad OKC game. I think they're going to play much better on Tuesday night. And I think that the youthful energy is going to rear its head a little bit more against Milwaukee.
Yeah, we're gonna get Andre
what I thought.
Jackson versus Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Sure.
Might not go good. Might
And-
go good. He can play.
And we said it, Shea to score over 30. He didn't even play well.
No.
Oh my God. But he was the moves were amazing, and he just literally could not finish.
He just had no touch. He finished,
Yes.
8 for 21?
Yeah, 8 for
So he
20
was
something.
getting to the hoop and getting
Yeah.
shots, but he just wasn't able to convert and then knocked down the free throws.
All we can hope for is a close game. So we will be back on Tuesday night following the NBA Cup championship game. It is Bucks, it's Thunder, so we'll be back right here probably on the 27th floor of this undisclosed hotel.
Are we going to take the chair back in the meantime? One of these chairs does not belong here.
Did security ask you any questions at all? Because one of these chairs, these very comfortable, hilariously
podcasting
perfect podcast chairs
Yeah.
were from your room. But
The one was.
you're on a floor, with a whole different elevator bay than JD.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
So you took a chair down to the lobby and then went across to another elevator where he had to meet you to bring this up.
Well, yeah, also because you need to put your card
Yeah.
in an elevator to get up to the proper room, to get to your room access. So I couldn't just plop it into their elevator, to JD's elevator.
And send it up.
Send it up and hope JD opens the elevator door.
But nope, did anybody say anything?
We're in Vegas. No.
That's kind of a good point. You ride in an elevator with a dog. It's just a thing.
I did, right?
You never know what's going to be in there.
Yeah, I was carrying it, and I did see a security officer, and I thought, okay, well, I'll be prepared to tell
gig is
him,
up.
hey, we're recording a podcast. Modern day podcasts are recorded in hotel rooms.
In 3 chairs.
But he just moved on, I guess, because he said, this is Vegas. Weird things happen.
Did either of you sit in the chair when you were on the elevator?
Yeah, we joked about it, and we talked about it to someone. I think we said to somebody in the elevator, hey, would you like to have a seat?
Oh, it's classic.
It didn't happen.
No?
Yeah, she joked about it. She laughed.
Nobody wanted to do it, huh?
No.
Maybe next time.
They're like, what are these
Maybe
guys
next
doing
time.
with this chair?
Vegas.
What weird thing is going on the 27th floor?
Yeah, they're probably weird.
Okay, let's call it there. We will be back, like I said, on Tuesday night following the NBA Cup championship game. We'll also, maybe that night or maybe later in the week, get into the minor trades trickling in. I guess they're not official yet. Probably are official tomorrow.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Dennis
December
Schroeder
15th.
already tweeted it.
Oh, wow.
That he's
Okay.
on the Warriors.
Yes, Thomas Bryant obviously going to the
MVPs
Pacers.
together.
What's that?
Can't believe 2 MVPs together on the Warriors again.
Oh,
No.
Schroeder,
Yeah.
that's right. And then, Schroeder to the Warriors. So we'll get into that either on Tuesday night or we'll do it later in the week. But until next time, Clipper Bros!
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, the NBA Cup is already better than the first version of the tournament because it was called the in-season tournament. Because it's better because it was called the in-season tournament. Now it's called the NBA Cup.
And we respect it. We respect it and respect you. We'll see you Tuesday night.